Yeah, so hopefully I don't...
No.
Doesn't include sugar and coffee.
Okay, so that brings us up to our 26th session of Star Wars.
I got it right! Awesome.
Yeah. And, yeah, well, we've gone for quite a while so far.
Well, I'm keeping track of the sessions. I'm more impressed with that. Dates are more like a fleeting thing. I woke up the other day at 2 o'clock and I couldn't figure out if it was afternoon or morning.
Okay, so, back to the introduction.
Sorry.
So, Aria, you may as well introduce your character, considering...
I'm Thane True Striker, Mandalorian, Skip Tracer, / ex-Animal Wrangler, now People Wrangler for the Imperial Rangers, under the wise leadership of Kayana.
That's giving me a lot. Alright.
They get on a little thick there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Especially in them.
Yes.
I'm not the one with the intellect here.
Does any of us actually have intellect? No,
The droid does.
Yeah, the droid. Yeah,
Yeah.
the droids. Of course it's the droid.
And then we have Kesley at the table as well.
Alright, I am playing Kiana Cape Weir, the Mandalorian martial artist, now sector ranger in charge of the other rangers. So definitely more the brawn than the brains, but it's the position that was given upon her. So she's just trying to do her duty.
You're doing well.
And making sure that things stay together as they're slowly falling apart. But you know what? We're trying.
The key is to make it look like you meant it to do it that way.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But nah, it's going.
It does help. Okay, and online today we have Ross.
Yes, I'm playing Khalid, the Enforcer.
Aren't you / assassin as well?
Yeah, but I don't have a title.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah, so basically I'm supposed to give everybody a line, not killing them.
Well, that would keep everyone in line.
I was going to say, it's an
Yeah.
effective technique.
You've buried them there, and there.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm also incredibly handsome.
So, are you competing with Officer Fabio for that,
I was going to
are
say,
you?
do we change your name to Fabio? I've still got books with him on it.
Oh,
From when I was like
Yeah.
13.
And also online tonight we have David.
G'day. I'm David. I play P1337, the only registered bounty hunter of the party, and just all-round really cool guy, super compassionate, and here for the needs and wants of the party.
Oh, what?
As long as you don't bleed.
So,
Who's your character?
I was going to say, who wiped your memory and reprogrammed you? Someone ran over him. He's just
No, it's the protocol.
Also, my receptionist crapping it.
Oh, dang.
He's in protocol droid mode.
Yep.
Okay, so did anyone want to do the recap of the last session?
Not me, because I'll divert into like 15 different stories and not be able to work my way back around to where we were. I will...
Just making sure all our
You
audio
being
is
volunteered
working.
again.
I was
and-
getting-
You did leader.
I commented it last time.
You just looking it up.
I just have to
It should all be up
find
there.
it.
Yep.
Alright, so, recap from last time. We completed one mission of delivering birds. We found out that Fabio has a wife, and her name is Chandra Dell. captain of the Whisper working for the Randall Mining Company. We tried to go out there to find the black box of the Hail Me. Apparently that was also what Fabio was looking into. Fabio was looking into a Wookiee transport before his accident. He was looking for a ship, or no, she was looking for the ship Hail Me, because the Hail Me was supposed to be delivering parts to the Randall Mining Company. So we went there, wasn't there, we searched everywhere, didn't really find anything other than that the Darylin Mining Company isn't there. And we also, there's some shady things
They evacuated,
not coming
didn't
from
they?
Darylin. Yeah, because they had a life support system thing, so that part of the place is shut down. So there's no communication coming from Darylin is what we're finding out, which is very odd. Anyway, we head back to the planet to look for the black box, while Piper learns that there is now a bounty out for Fabio. So at the end of the session, we sent Piper, B1, and Thea to go apprehend Fabio, while me, Ibea, Carlet, and Kadkia went to go search for the black box.
Thank you.
Was the bounty alive or dead or alive?
It was a living bounty.
Yeah, living bounty, 500 credits.
Yeah.
For espionage against the Empire.
I'll probably do it for another coffee.
I'll quickly get it done. Do you want hot chocolate since I'm frothing?
Kesley, did you want a hot chocolate?
Oh, I'm good.
Since I'm frothing?
No,
No?
I'm good.
Okay, so we'll do you and Ross.
Alright. Cool.
You're heading off to the starport.
Yep, we're heading to the starport, going to... We were looking for whatever ship was meant to be sent out to the Alleran station. So, I guess we'll...
Okay, so you approach traffic control tower for the starport, because if anyone's going to know what's happening with the starport, it's the control tower.
Yep.
Get some dice handy, because
I was going to say we probably need that.
everyone's not always handy. Everyone's not always helpful. Okay, we have a percentile dice for weird things that can go wrong. So it's just you and Carlet at the moment?
Yep, it's just us.
And as you reach the starport control tower, you do see on the news that there is some sort of attack happening at the other starport.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So, we see...
And a bunch of thugs are blowing up ships and taking off with some sort of transport.
Would it be quick to, best of my character's knowledge, would it be quicker to try to hitch a ride with a certain Gungan friend to get to the other starport, or
You sent them with the... You sent the...
That's right, he's with them. Oh, dang it.
It would be quite fast to get there with him.
It would, if we had him.
Does he have a cousin?
He does, except currently he's doing his talky talk. That's how he refers to politics.
It's really quite appropriate.
So the question now becomes...
Yeah, you see it basically breaking news. You see a whole bunch of people diving for cover as two hangars go up in flames. And you see two freighters just take off with their support staff left behind.
This system doesn't have the Imperial presence, does it?
It does not.
So it.
Technically, technically it does. You're it.
Yeah, technically it goes to us. So, I guess to Carla, I said we have to head back to the ship.
And you just spent about an hour navigating the parts of the since you got dropped off.
Yeah.
To get to the control tower, and you're basically seeing this breaking news on one of the panels near the control tower.
So, assuming these freighters have taken off into space, is our ship fast enough to catch?
You're not sure.
I don't think it's heavily armed enough to take on a bunch of pirates.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, your ship is armed enough to be able to take on a pirate ship. You could probably even take out a pirate fleet.
Yeah, if we got the well-trained crew.
Yeah, I was thinking if we had the full crew.
We're all green.
The 3 guns you have are enough to take out a starfighter squad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the thing is, we need people to
You got them.
maybe to cut them. So,
Technically, all you need is four characters. You need
and
1 pilot and 3 gunners.
my technicality do have 4 characters. Shoot. I don't want to make a decision. Carla, do you think we should go in pursuit, or should we try to ascertain as much information as possible so that we can put out warrants?
Okay, so try to. Problem is, I don't have astrogation, so I'm not sure. By the time we get to the ship, they're probably already gone, so we won't know exactly where they've gone to.
Because by the time we get back to the ship, probably another hour, and then another half hour to get out of the atmosphere.
So it takes about half an hour to plot a jump for most people.
Then they'd be long gone.
Would they be able to work out which direction they're going to, which system?
They would be able to tell you which vector they left on, but because hyperspace is not a straight line, that doesn't help you much. You just have a general idea of where they were heading. And a lot of people have learned the you go in a direction, jump for a very short time, come back out again,
and then go somewhere else.
Yeah, because they could do it on the edge of the system outside a sensor range, where it's safe.
Yeah.
And then spend their time plotting where they're going from there.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. I say we need to go to control tower here, see what information they share, and then head over to the other one and help the planetary police set up a perimeter and start investigating.
Okay, so
probably also need to work out what the freighters were registered to and what was on board.
Exactly, because I have a feeling that's something that we may need. So we'll go to the one we're at, Bride Bar control.
So I managed not to overfill it, but somehow I confused a H for a V and you got hazelnut.
that's fine. That's not empty.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for helping, but yeah. Okay, so yes, as you get access by showing your badge.
Yep.
Normally, without showing your badge, you can't get into a control tower.
Yep.
They are very much about not letting anyone in that's not supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll switch over to the other two as they're barreling through the atmosphere on the taxi.
What was his name again? Maverick. That's it. Yep. So is Maverick keeping up a stream of conversation with us?
Including, look, no hands!
I steady the steering wheel as subtly as I can so that we don't all die.
Because I'm pretty sure he survived many crashes, but maybe not all of the people he's driven. How far are we along?
So you're basically halfway across the planet,
Right.
and as you're heading in, you do see a news article pop up on his in-flight entertainment.
Right. What's the news article?
There has been a explosion in the starport.
I gently but firmly grab the Gungan's mouth and keep it closed for like the 30 seconds at least that I'm going to need to pay attention to this. You know, it's not mean, but he definitely can't open his mouth right now.
Okay. So you see that the breaking news. Give me a perception. What's your character's perception?
What is perception?
You have a stat.
I have 1 perception,
Yep.
and I have 2 cunning.
And I believe that you've got the higher of the 2 cunning.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I believe B1.
B1's got like all the intelligence.
Okay, let's see how well you notice something. Okay, apparently you do notice it quite well.
Okay.
Okay, so as you're watching this thing about a threat happening in the starport, the little beaded line at the bottom of the screen going past as you're watching explosions and gunfire and ships taking off is that Officer Fabio has reported to have died from his injuries and has been notified to the public that he was cremated a few hours beforehand.
Wow. So is Dank Ferric the Star Wars equivalent of
Yes.
the
What the
F
hell?
word?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, Dank Ferric.
You're reading that as you've seen all these explosions and these 2 heavy freighters taking off from the starport.
So this thing that is in his car, is that something I can interact with?
It's
Okay.
just the news feed.
I've got my data pad. Can I bring up like specific news channel?
No, you're out of range.
Okay.
So he's got the long range transmitter on his cab.
I let go of the Gungan's mouth and say we need to we need to find more information about this.
Be there soon, he says.
I think do we know where Chandra Dell is not on planet anymore, is she?
You're not sure where she is.
Okay. Do we know where her crew are on the planet?
They weren't.
Because weren't there some people staying behind with him?
Piper did see her ship, but
Right. But
that was many hours ago.
so the news thing says that he was cremated before the explosion?
Yes.
Okay, something's up with that.
And by the sounds of things, it happened about an hour before the bulletin came through to B1337 about his bounty.
Oh, okay.
So
Um,
it was presumed dead bounty newsfeed.
Yeah, so...
But you're thinking that they only announced it now because they don't normally announce death notices as it happens.
Yeah.
If I could do a Scooby-Doo impression, I'd be going, "Roar!" But I'd also do a Velma impression and go, something hinky's going on here. Because that's like the wrong order. You can't cremate a person before they die.
I mean, you can. It's just that
Well,
It's just also the way of death, I
the
guess.
death notice never gets put out before the family's notified and dealt with it.
Okay. Yeah,
So
okay.
it's the
Anyone thoroughly objects to your assumption you can't cremate somebody before death.
I suspect that B1 is absolutely right, but I asked B1 whether or not he can get any more information about what the hell's going on.
I'm sure Piper is in a catatonic state. And
Yeah.
is stunned into silence for the first time in her life.
Yes.
or she's still watching Big Booms.
Yeah.
It's Piper after all.
Yeah,
It is Piper. So
and technically she's not drinking.
she had a drink the day before.
Yeah, but she's not like blotto at the moment.
Well, if she is, then you should be bothered.
Yeah.
And you're hearing through the news report that the XPS company has announced that they will be sending in an investigation to find out who stole their freighters.
So, can you backtrack for my poor memory? Where did the freighters get stolen?
So when you were reading the little banner,
Yeah.
that was over the top of the freighters being stolen.
The freighters being stolen and all the kaboom and the
Yep.
fighting and the pew pew pews.
Yep. Two things happening at the same time.
Yeah. So are they in two different locations?
The freighters were both in the starport you're heading towards.
Okay. All right. Do we still have access? Like, can we get somewhere near the site of what's going on?
Take you about half an hour to get there.
Well, it's worthwhile seeing if we can get any corroboration from witnesses and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got like ranger credentials, so that should get us somewhere with the local police, which is probably a bunch of Jawas, but that's okay. eBay probably knows them.
You're ranked above them. You have authority.
Yeah, I have the deep breathing image of
They
Darth
also
Vader
love
behind
us
us.
on this planet.
Yeah, actually that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll still keep heading there. And I asked Maverick to take whatever diversion he needs, but to get us there as soon as possible.
What
Okay.
is
Please don't kill us.
What's the other starport called? Does it have a name?
We'll call it the main one at this stage. I'm
Okay.
sure it had a name.
I really should just be keeping a note with just names of things and items.
Right.
I'm going to start doing that for all my games because it would be really handy instead of all these post-it notes and things that I can't manage my way through. 'Cause paper and numb hands suck.
We'll just say the primary one at this stage.
Okay, we'll go primary and secondary. It's a bit plain, but it'll keep us moving.
Mainly because I have this. This is my write-up of the planet.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
wow.
that'd be quite a lengthy monologue.
That's a big
Oh
one.
no, that's not the readout to the player. That's the GM information.
Oh, okay.
quite a
Shit.
bit.
Well, yeah.
When you think about it, I have something like 4 to 10 pages on other planets,
Can,
Yeah.
and I've only got that much on that planet.
Is there a camera on that so that other people can get an idea of
Online,
what you're looking at?
that's how much information I have on the planet. Just one column on a page in the book.
Alright,
So
it's to allow your creative side to
It does.
explore and discover.
Okay, so yes, back to the control tower as you're going in.
So Kayana?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So yes, you hear quite a lot of alarms going off in the control tower, and you hear the sounds of someone screaming into a comlink, asking what's going on, where's the security, get fire and rescue, and all this sort of stuff happening in the background. As you walk up to the security desk.
is there somebody at the security desk?
Yes, there's this pimply-faced young girl just sitting there looking up with the look of sort of surprise and
She's
bit
got
of awe.
perfect makeup, but no idea of what's going on.
I'll ask her, where is your current security force?
She pulls out her earbud and you hear music blaring and she goes, "What?"
Like, miss. Starport has been attacked. I need you to get.
Oh, sorry.
So the other starport is being
Yum's
attacked.
right.
This starport is at risk of being attacked itself. I need to know your security numbers. I need to get a perimeter going around. We need to enact all security protocols.
I'll call in Bill, the other security guy.
Yeah, call him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She hits a button. He's just hearing this busy tone coming from her comms. Like, I'm sure he'll be here any moment. She just keeps rapidly hitting this call button.
I suspect we're not going to get far.
As a guy in a food-stained uniform comes into the room, dropping what appears to be half his food on the way.
Oh, that's lunch gone.
He says, look, you're here, so does that mean you're in charge?
Yeah, you are now.
I say, yes, I am. Are you the only security guard at this port?
Oh, no, I'm supposed to be on airport control. We've locked down the starports, and I sort of dropped stuff all over the console. But besides...
Yes, please, lock down the starport, nobody in or out. We need to establish perimeter, and I need to know, have there been any alarms or anything in this starport?
Okay, well, the starport's already locked down. As soon as we heard notification of an explosion, we basically cut all fuel lines and secured all the fuel tanks.
So, just so you know, for your notes, I've put Bill apostrophes security has locked down the station. I'm pretty sure he's not security.
So, and it really has to happen on Bill's day off.
Oh, so this is not Bill?
No.
Oh, who's this?
This is, he calls his name Fernandez.
Oh, well. Way to make it so I can't fit his name neatly in places where I
So,
have
do
Bill.
you have any security droids that are able to sweep for any explosives and that?
That's a good idea.
We do have security droids, except, how do we put it? They're antiquated B models from the Clone Wars, and they have no idea what they're doing.
So, how long between when B1 gets back to that control tower and kills him, or just orders a droid in the area to do this?
Oh my god.
To be honest, B1 might be doing us a favour.
But,
Okay. Do you have mouse droids here that can do sensor sweeps?
we've got coffee droids. You know, these little black boxes that carry coffee around for us?
Do they have sensors?
No.
They only have
Good
sensors
to
to
know,
know what not to walk into things.
I know that they've got a heat sensor, so they can keep the coffee warm.
How do they don't spill the coffee?
They've got a set part.
Oh, okay.
So is this a backwaters planet that we've come to?
I think so. I think that's why we're famous here.
Well, we are not really well known in the galaxy. If you were to announce us outside of the sector, I'm probably sure no one would even know who you're talking about.
I believe you call it undeveloped.
Yeah.
Backwater works perfectly well, he says. It normally means we don't deal with people blowing crap up very often.
I'll ask him, does he have access to... what is the word I'm looking for?
Anything.
I'm saying.
Well, basically we need to
find
know...
any ships that are scheduled to leave to Alloran.
He says, okay, come into the office, he says, as he leads into a room where you can see food everywhere. He basically, he apparently, literally lost his lunch by knocking it all over the place while trying to lock down the starport. As you can see what appeared to be some sort of containers rolled everywhere around the place, drink all still fizzing all over the console.
I think they'd make them waterproof by now.
Oh, the console's perfectly fine.
Oh, okay.
The drink's fizzing everywhere, though.
Depends, what drink is it?
Well, it appears to be some sort of honey mixture.
Okay, so not
it's
necessarily a
gonna
waste
make
of
it
caffeine. But everything's going to be sticky.
So he heads over and starts wiping down some of the screens and pushing, stuff out of the way and hitting buttons, and says, by the looks of things, that there's nothing scheduled for the Almoran system.
Sorry. Does he have access to the other starport's logs?
He's looking up the starport controls at the moment. He says they're all interconnected. Otherwise, he shrugs, saying it's hard enough trying to maintain a single starport, let alone trying to figure out what's happening elsewhere if we don't share. So, and you can see it's almost like the equivalent of a dot point: ship arrived, ship left. And they don't seem to have a lot of information about the ships.
That's a fun time.
They have some scans of some stuff. They comment on whether or not they had anything searched, seized, or done, depending on who's available. Apparently, when Bill's available, a lot more things get searched.
I would think, yeah.
When he's on leave, very few things get searched.
Bill's last name doesn't happen to be Bailey, and he's not, like, really good with instruments, is he?
Quite possibly. And so as he's going through it, he can see that it keeps having messages pop up there about requests for information from a company called XPS.
So XPS, they're not the mining company. They're the.
You haven't really heard of them?
Oh, okay. So this is not one of the ones that we heard about with Chandra Dell?
No.
Okay.
It's a different company.
I'm not there, so I can't ask if he knows who they are. But maybe our exalted leader could.
So he's searching. We're seeing messages pop up from XPS.
Yep.
Am I able to read what XPS is asking for?
They're wanting access to his system, full cooperation, demanding. Most of them seem to be in a very demanding tone.
When did those freighters arrive here?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
He goes back and it says, the freighters arrived 3 days ago. One freighter arrived 3 days ago, another one arrived a day later. Apparently they were traveling together and something happened. And they weren't scheduled to leave until about 4 or 5 hours from now, when they had finished doing a decontamination of both ships. He's not sure why they were being decontaminated because
That doesn't sound good.
apparently there was no contamination found upon entry.
Okay. Who was doing the decontamination?
He's not sure. It's just listed down and on the that the ships required decontamination. He starts checking through the computer system.
Is it able to tell who logged the need for decontamination?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. He has a look at it, and apparently no. It doesn't have that information in the system there, he says.
Okay.
Because it managed to get no result.
Yeah.
The dice giveth and taketh away.
I'm gonna blame Fernandez on this.
Yeah.
I reckon that's how they got on board the ship. They were the decontamination crew, and they stole it.
Yep, that's
And,
what I'm
and
thinking.
apparently both ships went through decontamination at the same time.
And these are the two ships that crashed.
No, these were the two ships
No.
That was stolen.
that
That
were
was
stolen.
stolen. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is a good reason why someone else is in charge.
Go ahead.
Has there been any other ships that have stated that they've had decontamination done on them recently?
Okay, he'll
Like
have
a
a look through his system. And he says, yes, there's quite a few ships that go through decontamination. He starts looking through things and starts looking a bit surprised. He says, apparently over the last year or so, each ship that's gone through decontamination has had crew members turn up missing.
I wonder why. Okay.
But
You
this
really
is
need to get a great day.
says this is the first time someone actually visibly stole something.
Okay.
Normally the ship would just disappear after it left.
Yeah, they won't have records if those ships actually made to their destinations, would they?
No, they don't. They're not interconnected with other planets.
Do they have a certain company that they use for decontamination?
He looks a bit surprised. He didn't even know we had a company.
Who is on record for when you need a ship decontaminated? Who do you call?
Oh,
Say Ghostbusters.
he doesn't call anyone. It's not his job.
Would that be the captain?
He said it'd be the problem of the captain of the ship, he said. And I'm sure that there's some cleaner who would go around and decontaminate things.
I may not have files.
Does he have
but
footage of the two ships before when the decontamination crew came on board?
then they might have like insignias or something on there.
He starts having a look at what he's got on camera feeds.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, so he brings up footage. He can show you the ships and the crew leaving the ships, but he says there's no footage after the crews leave the ships.
As in, the footage is just
Not there.
gone?
It doesn't appear to be gone. Doesn't appear to be recorded.
Why is it not recorded all the time?
He shrugs. It's not his starport.
In other words, somebody's turned it off.
So somebody's turned
But
off.
you give me what is your character's perception as you guys are looking at it?
I have 2 in perception.
2 in perception and
I've got
How many-
1 in perception.
What's your cunning though?
I am average.
I thought you were like a. Oh no, where are you high on then? Is it presence?
I am high on present.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It may be worth radioing B1 and seeing if he can hack something.
so it'd have to
He's
be.
really good at
He
hacking.
wouldn't be able to do it in the where he is.
No, but
Okay,
it's
so,
something you want to keep in mind. Yeah.
Having a look at things, you do notice that the crew coming off the ship are heavily armed for a freighter crew. They have military grade weapons.
Okay. Have they got any insignias on them?
They got.
Like if they're a mercenary group or anything like that?
They have the XPS logo on them.
Okay.
SPS.
XPS.
XPS. So we really need to find out who the hell.
So what does what's XPS company do?
He goes, give me a sec. I will have a quick look on the system, he says, as he starts tapping away. Sorry, XTS. He says it's a transport system. So it's known as Zizor Transport Systems, he says.
Zizor Transport Systems.
Because those guys seem to be heavily armed for a transport organisation.
I'm sure they just deal with pirates. I'm sure there's nothing untoward, he says, shrugging.
Yeah, I'm sure they definitely deal with pirates. Being pirates.
So you can understand why there was now a firefight in the
Yeah.
because you wouldn't imagine a group like that actually easily being taken by.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
looks like whoever's decided to take these ships has decided to tango with what seems to be a very,
A mercenary group.
yeah, but a really well set up one to be that heavily armed and to have been involved in so many of these incidences. Because they said several ships have been decontaminated and people have gone missing and all the ships have been stolen.
So it probably say it's happened to about 6 ships. He might be able to say people have been looking for since they left here
I would say does he
previously.
have a record of
Cross
him-
references. Was any of them the ones that we were looking for?
All footage.
He has no reference of a ship called Haomi having landed on planet.
That's fine.
Apologies, guys. I just had a phone.
That's all good.
That's okay. Just keep in mind, you want to kill someone called Fernandez.
Just because he's incompetent.
Yeah, well,
He's
more
there
than
for
that.
us.
Well, guess what the security droids are?
They are
Parts?
Yes,
Well,
they are spare
they
parts.
Are parts.
spare
They're
B1
B1
parts.
models.
So they're not really parts, they're inferior parts. B1 doesn't have to be B1 parts, that's.
Yeah, basically,
Well, in that
you
case
got
you-
enough to make up your little droid army.
I was going to say, in that case, Fernandez is now your friend.
Okay, so and he says he has no idea why they making so many demands on him at the moment because it's not his problem.
What
Okay.
problem is it?
Out of those ships, how many of them were registered for XPS?
The 2 ships that were taken were both registered to that company.
Yeah, but I mean, out of the other 6.
None.
Okay.
Are they assigned to all different companies or all singular?
He looks through the records and he says each of the other ones belongs to different companies.
Okay.
And most of those companies were new to the region.
So new
Okay.
radio.
Do those companies actually have a base of operations here?
None of the other companies have bases of operations. This one does not either.
Did you say there was about 6 he estimated?
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
previous.
Thank you. And this is
So-
2 more.
So XPS doesn't have an office here.
It does not.
Okay, so how the hell are they demanding information when they're not on spot?
Apparently, he has access to the HoloNet, whoever's demanding information.
Oh, well, we might be able to use
I was
that.
gonna say, we probably need to talk to.
And
Quote,
even
unquote,
even
talk
you
to
guys
because-
struggle to get access to the HoloNet.
Yeah. So.
Can we find a location for their office or something, maybe?
Okay, he says, okay, here's a look. It says their office is located on Coruscant.
Well,
Well, there
When we've
goes
got
your
capacity,
reason
we
why
might be
they're
able
able
to
to get to the holonet.
contact Cruiser.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the previous? What was the origin of those 2 freighters? Where did they come from?
Apparently, they were on their way to Elrood from Coruscant.
So they went from Coruscant to here.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a journey.
Can I just quickly check the spelling of Coruscant?
Yep.
Do you
Does that
see
seem
it?
honorary?
See and take.
It's pretty far away.
Yeah, Coruscant's in the inner rim, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the capital of the Empire.
Yeah.
And it's in the
Sorry,
Core Worlds
I
region.
can't use phones today. I'll cry. Nerves and electricity. Who would have thought? Came from. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yes, it says it came from Coruscant. And then you see a Imperial logo appear on the screen. And apparently there is a
That's not right.
request from the Emperor himself wanting a update on what's going on here.
The Emperor has just now, recently. So the Emperor has requested from whom?
From whoever's in charge of this planet to please respond.
So not Fernandez.
It would be me.
That would be the government of this planet, not the.
At which point he says, you work for the Empire, you can take this, can't you?
Yeah. You can do this.
Well,
You
no,
are
the thing
the
is, we need
absolute
authorization for this,
best
so
leader
you're
in
going
the
to give us
world.
authorization.
He's more than happy to say your problem. I'll just stand outside while you take this call.
Okay, so in that case, he has given us authorization.
You may not be able to see me, but I'm doing the whole cheerleader pom-pom show for you.
So, you're up, boss.
Hold on one second. I'm writing.
I can't do a pyramid on my own, though. The Gungan might be willing to try.
I'm sure he can do any sort of pyramid you want.
Yeah. I'm sure he can.
He's good at bouncing around. Okay, so
Okay, I guess I will accept the call. Sector ranger of the planet. Of the system.
okay, so the
highest rank.
you see a hologram appear on the table, and it looks like the governor's aide of Elrood. Looks very similar to him.
I'll give proper signage and I'll say So it doesn't look like the. Well, question. Would Kayana know what the Emperor looks like?
Yes. Yeah, his pictures have been put around.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
but because this would not be the Emperor, it would be somebody.
Okay. So seeing that it's not the Emperor, I'll talk to. So it looks like
Is this a suspected
The
evil
governor's-
aide?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I see it's the governor's aide, and then
It looks like him, yes.
it looks like him.
So it could be like a Twi'lek, but exactly the same colour and everything, but maybe not the same.
But with most of the holograms, the colour's bleached out.
Oh, well, there you
Yeah.
go.
So that's the thing. So
Could confirm.
I'll hail whoever it is properly, and request, I lost my train of thought entirely. I'm sorry. I'll just request that, to confirm his identity for
Yes,
security.
Okay, so it says this is Zazor, head of Zazor Transport Systems.
Oh, okay. So, owner of the company, maybe?
Mm.
But definitely not the Emperor.
He's on Coruscant, they've got bloody political affiliations.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so if he's not, he's awfully screwed himself up. So
Yeah.
we just have to continue on with assuming that he does have political connections.
So I'll tell him, I have.
I've got a personal, been given authority from the Emperor himself to request that you expedite any information my way.
I'll tell him as this is under active investigation. I will be sure to give him any relevant updates as soon as possible. But as this is still a unfolding situation, the only information I can give is that there is no footage of who took the ships. It was a quote-unquote decontamination crew, and that we are currently continuing to investigate so that we could identify the perpetrators and return all goods to their proper owners.
And I
I'd say
suggest
that
you get a
specifically.
copy of his authorization.
Yes.
Pinky people, maybe.
And so I'll ask that should he need any further correspondence, please see to Betty on Elrood.
It says he
She
will
will get messages to me immediately.
he will send through his authorization and a contact that you can reach him on.
Yep.
Okay. Were these ships also fitted with hidden transponders?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have any sort of transponders or LoJack?
It says normally no one would be stupid enough to hit one of his ships. He says. So
Sorry, pardon me,
Okay,
to say, but
okay.
only you would be stupid
Well,
enough not to
Unfortunately, we've got stupid people that have. Did you have
multiple
LoJack
transponders
system?
is not a easy thing to do. It's basically the equivalent of saying, yes, let's put 2 engines into the car.
Oh, okay.
So a transponder is tied to the engine,
Okay.
and it's the signature of the engine is the transponder. And so he might have abilities to affect it, but not from here.
I thought it was like a GPS tracker type thing, but
That-
obviously much more difficult.
That's why it's hard to mimic. It requires real skill to mimic it. He has
Sounds like that's the business we should be in.
he does have some agents on rail.
On rail.
On
route.
route
On
towards
route,
you,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And he does have a contact on Elrood working with the governor that may be able to offer assistance.
Alright.
Okay.
I'll ask
We-
him,
Yeah, we suspect that this group has hijacked 6 other vessels previously.
Well, he believes it will probably be the last one that they'll hijack because his shipment was for a Admiral Thrawn.
Okay, have you advised the Admiral that he's delivery is going to be delayed?
No, he's sure that will be your job because you're the closest representative.
Yeah.
He wishes you all the luck with not dying and hangs up.
Oh god.
Well, we won't be dying. It'll be him.
Hey, unlike Darth Vader, Thrawn doesn't normally kill the messenger.
I know.
Yeah, Thrawn's awesome.
Yeah, pity they didn't actually copy him exactly out of the books.
So do you have hidden photos of Thrawn in like the inside of your locker door, B1?
Wow, being a droid, I can automatically pull up any images I have saved to my database.
Okay. Can we get a copy of the freighters transponders and that?
He does give you copies of their
Okay,
transponders.
and the copies, can we get also the copies of the 6 that we assume have probably also been stolen as well?
He does give you those as well, and he gives you the manifests of the ships too. Each of the ships that was hijacked was carrying starship components.
Okay. Do we have the ability to call Thrawn?
Not from here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want
How
to
are we going to get in touch with him?
news about the transponders bit, but later.
You're not sure how you get in touch with him. Normally, you would have to go to one of the Star Destroyers to get in contact with him. Because they're the things that have the access to the HoloNet in the sector.
Yeah.
Or the governors in a lot of on Elrood does, as does the Darylin governor. But Torino can't initiate a contact.
Excuse me. So it means that we have to basically jump out of here.
Or
New
wait
status,
for
right?
Thrawn to contact us if we give our details to Zizor, because Zizor's
Zizor's hung up.
Well, he presumably he has our details, so yeah, it's possible that Thrawn may contact us.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got nothing that can handle the broadcast of the HoloNet.
Our ship wasn't capable of it, but we got a piggyback on a ship that was. But that's dropped us off and moved on. Do we know if it's coming back?
You haven't travelled with that one for a while.
Right.
That's when you went on the hunt.
That was the governor's ship.
I thought about the one with the bounty Trandoshans could.
No,
That was
we
the
were
Star
at-
Destroyer.
We were still on the Star Destroyer when that
Yeah,
happened.
that's what I mean. Like, that one picked us up and dropped us off. It
I
wasn't...
was like, no, it
So,
is here. This is us.
It's
Yeah.
on coin.
Yeah.
It never actually left.
Oh, okay.
You visited it here on the way through
Yeah, okay.
and spoke to it. So there's supposed to be one here and there's supposed to be one over here.
Okay.
So
Sorry, that was also...
one is 2 jumps away and one is 3 jumps away.
How long does a jump take again?
It can take 8 hours to days,
Okay, yeah.
depending on how badly
Yeah.
things go.
So, not a good situation, as Khalid surmised. Or manifest.
And the trip out to Moran took a day. So it
Al
while
Moran.
not that far away, because it's not a major route, takes a lot longer.
Yep.
Okay.
We're on Torino, aren't we?
You are.
Yep.
Oh my. Ran. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now switching back to the crazy cab. Okay, so you hear from Maverick as he's going and saying lots of strange things in Gungan as he's trying to avoid laser fire coming in his direction.
If anyone can do it, he can.
Why is there laser fire happening towards him?
Yeah, no, I was, that was just my flippant response to almost dying. We saw on the news that there was a fight, so I'm gathering we're entering into that fight now.
You're seeing 2 large ships bigger than you've been on before, besides the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Flying past, shooting at you as you're coming back.
Shooting at us, specifically. Can we identify, like, does B1 recognize the...
They've got these big symbols, XPS on the side.
Oh, okay.
XTS.
Yes, we break for no one.
I would suggest either I or B1 comms to Kayana and ask why XTS is shooting at us when we're supposed to be...
It's
on
probably
the-
shooting at anyone.
Well,
investigation.
you saw that these were the ships that were stolen from the starboard.
Oh, okay, these are the stolen ships. Sorry,
Yeah.
I am really not with it today. I do apologise.
As they're leaving the planet, they're shooting at everything.
We don't have the capacity to shoot back. And I
That is
presume that we're not on the kind of ship that could keep up with catch up to them or somehow attach itself to them.
You could, but then you would disappear from the story for a while.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, this is a survival event, not a
Not a
fix the
chase event.
situation.
In which case, I'm hoping that the Gungan has the dodge capacity to, if not prevent us from crashing, hopefully prevent us from dying.
Let's
Right,
see.
our lives are in the hands of a Gungan.
Well, you probably can survive
Jesus,
this,
that's
but you know,
He's pushing you back.
there's a lot
Okay,
of
so-
other ones.
Even B1 is impressed by the flying of the Gungan.
Yeah.
As his head keeps hitting the side of the
Bing, bing.
of the cab.
Right, we've got Darth Jar Jar here.
Yeah.
And every time he zigs and zags, he keeps having. It doesn't look like he's doing it intentionally, but he's always flying out of where they're shooting.
He's Darth Jar Jar, I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
And then he flies between the two of the ships.
He made his fortune.
Hey, do or do not. There is no try.
I would
Yeah,
not
only
be
a Sith
surprised
deals in
if
absolutes, buddy.
there's a lightsaber sitting on his like belt clip or something, and it's red. I gather, even though we're escaping, there's nothing that I might or BY might notice that might help us in our investigations. It's just straight survival. I presume
Yeah.
we can't. But
Big
I
one
figure it doesn't
sees an
hurt.
ejection handle, that'll help.
For you, maybe. Me, maybe not so much. I am a meat sack, after all.
You see the ejection handle, and you realise it's not connected to anything.
Yeah, pull it.
This is possibly good news for me and the Gungan.
God
And Piper.
And you go spinning down to the starport that's burning below.
Spinning like Darth Vader in a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, more like Anakin in a Naboo fighter. Now this is pod racing.
Which you do hear from the Gungan as he's flying and dodging between things all the way down.
Great. I'm so glad to hear it.
So, the next question is do we survive?
You do.
Can we go to the
Yeah.
spot where the freighters were?
He does land outside the emergency services area where everyone's trying to put out the fires.
Is there anyone who looks like they might be telling everybody else what to do?
Sure.
Okay, I try to spot that guy.
Yes, there is a big Trandoshan.
Right.
Very few people are going to say no to him.
Okay. This is going to be
Yeah.
interesting. Obviously, I'll wait for a moment where I can ask him questions, but I at least want to make contact with him so that after he handles the situation, we can get in contact with him. So either pass on some details or something. You know, I'm a ranger. I know I can't talk to you right now because all hell is breaking loose, but I want to get in touch with you later. And does that work out for me?
Yep, you do manage to get his attention for a little while.
Do I get his name?
He sort of growls something at you that doesn't translate well to letters.
Does B1 understand it?
Yep.
B1, make up a name.
I came up with quite a few names, some of which are appropriate.
I would tell you to spell it, but I have a feeling that the people who would watch this would be able to spell it too. So.
You could say just.
Yeah, no, this is Bano. B-A-N-O.
Okay, Bano.
And it seemed to have like 5 or 6 different R's and S's spread throughout his name, as far as you
Oh,
can
so
tell.
he's Welsh.
And so you shortened it to Bano.
So Trandoshan, I will be in charge of the frontline workers.
Yep, and you hear him asking, have they reached the shut-off valve yet? Why hasn't the security procedures kicked in? And
I presume being a ranger, I would have authority to do security, but not being familiar with this place, I'd have no idea how to do it. So I can't really be helpful.
Yep.
Anyone inquires as to what the valve is?
He tells you that there is a lever halfway through the fire that is all you need to do is pull down. And normally there is electronic system that shuts it all off in case of fire, but all their sensors are currently offline, and he can't get them back up again.
I was going to say,
Can he vent the atmosphere of that station?
Not without venting the atmosphere of the planet because it's in the open.
Is it an environment? I'm presuming humans won't survive in it, but can B1 go and shut the valve?
That's why I'm asking. I can't walk through fire, but I can walk through a vacuum.
Yeah.
He says, possibly. How flammable are you? He asks.
Not very flammable.
Well, it's currently melting.
Definitely combustible, just not flammable.
It's currently melting anything they try to put it out with.
That's a no for me.
Wow, yeah.
Hey, it's a furnace.
In these kind of emergency situations...
Everyone asks if he can examine the situation.
Yeah.
Yep. So he starts bringing up screens for you to look at, and we will do a mechanics roll for your character.
Please.
So you have 2 ranks in it, I believe.
That's what I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay, so having a look at it, you actually do get a success, which is good.
Yay.
A single success after all that. And looking through it, you do find that you believe someone basically cut the main lines to their systems. And you could potentially reconnect those systems in less time than it would take for you to walk through the fire and try to pull the lever.
Gonna try and do that.
So which systems did you say were sabotaged?
They sabotage the starport systems.
The starport systems.
They basically cut their main power and data lines, so they basically have no data.
Anyone gets some sellotape and go with that.
Okay, so...
shouldn't it be Gaffer?
No, he's only got sellotape. He's gonna do what he can do.
Fair enough.
Okay, so...
You've run out of the duct tape.
How about it, MacGyver?
So, digging in, again you get 1 success.
Yay!
And you manage to patch it enough that their security, that their automated systems start kicking in. Not particularly well because most of it's fried. And they start to get the fires under control.
Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work.
But you do think that without you getting their systems online, they were probably going to have to start evacuating the rest of the starport.
You are now a hero. Consider yourself
B1's a
secure.
hero. Bow before B1 and all of his mighty glory.
Absolutely.
Wow! Really sounds like that situation's starting to fire up, huh?
No dad jokes here.
And the Trandoshan thanks Thane for all the efforts she put forward on this. And then walks off past B1.
I possibly uselessly yell at him the correction that it was in fact B1 because I'd rather not die today. I can help it.
Can somebody can you do me a favor and procure a D6 and roll that for me, please? Any dice, just so I know what sort of dice it was.
It's a D6, and it comes up for 6.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Right, never mind. One control system.
Yeah. He's done this once before, and I think he said he almost killed Katia.
If anyone goes back to the console and starts accessing the display systems,
Mm-hmm.
you can roll a computing if you want. But it said, what was the Trandoshan who was just faking?
Yeah, it was the Trandoshan misappropriating the credit for all the good work he did.
Yeah, so whatever that Trandoshan's name was, he's gonna write out that Trandoshan's name is a dick.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you're sitting there watching stuff in the other starport at the control tower, you start seeing this guy's a dick and pictures of him showing up there.
This may
On the other
not
side of the
help
planet.
our-
So I'm
our
seeing- so I'm
future
seeing this.
investigations.
Wait, do I have long comms to them?
Well, the communication seems to be back up on the
Yeah.
other side of the planet.
Why is this guy a dick?
I will communicate. So over there, I'm just like, B1, get out of their system.
Well, not out of their system, because right now he's stopping it from burning the hell down, but perhaps...
I was gonna say, B1, divert your attention to something a little bit more helpful in this situation.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You mean like saving the spaceport? I'm sorry, I've already done that.
No, how about finding out who attacked the spaceport?
Yeah.
Do that,
I'm sorry, it's the spaceport.
Mr. Wonder Droid.
I'm sorry, that guy's a dick.
Mr. Wonder Droid, a certain blue person will be most appreciative about this.
Thrawn, and thank you for this. And we'll make sure he knows that you had a role in this.
Kaminoans?
I'm sorry?
You mean the Kaminoans? They're blue.
No, Thrawn.
A certain blue admiral.
Thrawn. I directly say Thrawn would really appreciate this being fixed.
It's over active comms. That's kind of dangerous.
Is it?
And while you're saying that, you pick up on starport control. There's a contact from a Star Destroyer that's just entered system.
I'd be guessing that's Thrawn.
Hey, if the Star Destroyer's just entered system, they may be able to intercept the transports.
Yeah, they might.
It's the Star Destroyer Chimera.
Actually, that's Thrawn's
Yeah,
Star Destroyer, isn't it?
yeah, I
It
think
is.
it is.
Okay. Are they hailing us or can we hail them?
They're hailing you.
Answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see a officer on screen going, Kayana.
I say,
Nice seeing you here.
We're transmitting you the ship's
transponder.
IDs to you, so if they can still be tracked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just go ahead and I'll get to business. I'm just like, look, there's been an attack on this planet. There are two XTS freighter ships that have been stolen. Their transponder codes are this.
So yes, I've got them on screen. Heading towards the edge of the system right now.
No, don't worry about that. What you really need to do is make sure that this guy gets fired. He's a dick.
Please ignore
with his
those.
priorities straight.
Communications and send a follow back line to him.
Oh my god. I'll say,
That guy needs to get fired.
I'll say to them, we're doing what we can to get everything settled here on planet, but as we're now outside of the atmosphere, we are planning on just tailing whatever information we can. We're not able to catch them at this time, unless here's this. If you guys want to send any certain brand new TIE fighters after them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Says, well, he will scramble his fighters and see what he can do, but they may jump before he can get there.
Well, we'll just have
We'll,
Yeah,
we'll
range.
continue to track as far as we can, and hopefully we can catch them. If not, we'll continue to track.
They're on a different vector than when they came in on,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so he has to go around the whole planet to get to them.
That doesn't sound easy. But we can do investigations from this end and get what information we can.
Hey, you can always do what J.J. Abrams and Ryan do. Ignore all constant
Ignore the rules.
Just ignore
rules
physics and
and
science
just go
altogether.
straight through the planet by jumping through it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can pass through solid matter without any problems, unless of course it's another Star Destroyer, in which case you blow it up.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. That's how it works.
Unless of course it's Darth Vader's Star Destroyer, in which case then you bounce off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
It's all about what you choose to do. There's no constant. You just have to know how it goes.
Whatever makes the story float, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so he says he's scrambling fighters, but he doesn't have he doesn't think he'll be able to stop them in time.
That's fine. We'll continue to search for.
So all we're doing is praying that they fuck up the
Their jump
calculations
Yeah,
and burn the jump drives out.
that's the only thing we can hope for.
But he is currently flagging them with the rest of the fleet in the sector.
Cool. Yeah.
So if they show up anywhere, they will be stopped.
Cool. Perfect. I'm just making sure that's everything I wanted.
He asked, do you know if they have the military systems on board?
Pretty sure they do.
The military.
I would
The
believe so.
starship parts. That all of these raiders have been
The last
carrying.
manifest indicated that there were starship parts on board of the freighters. Whether those parts are still there, or if anything else has been added or taken away, is unable to be determined at this time because all cameras were hacked. No, what's the word? They
Deactivated.
were deactivated, and so it's we're unable to confirm the contents of the ships, but that is the last known contents of the
Okay.
ships.
Okay, so
That is one of the most political and diplomatic answers that puts no fault on us at all that I've heard for a long time.
That is
You should try
my
for
goal.
Prime Minister. I reckon you'd do a better job.
I'm good.
We'll also send you transponders of 6 other ships that have been hijacked, which also had starship parts on it as well. We believe that they happen to be part of this heist.
Yeah, so we've got the manifest of the 6 other ships.
Yeah, so we'll share
yeah.
we'll share that information with them as well to see if there's any information that other Imperial law enforcement may have.
he thanks you. He says he'll get in contact with Thrawn and get back to you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yay!
It's just like
Bring out the blue pom-poms.
I know, right?
Okay, so yes, back to the Star Port Control where you guys are
Yep.
standing in there. The guy says, "Oh, look, we can actually see the other system again." Someone seems to have turned it back on again.
I'll say
Starport.
Yep. Yep, that would be part of my team.
Yay, team! He says.
B1.
I'm
Make sure
gonna,
you get due credit
I'm
where
gonna
it's
tell him
due.
right now. I'm just like, look, this whole thing really could have been less incidental if we have a tighter ship sailing. If we get things a little bit more in order, I need you to step up. We need to not have
Way to
this thing.
scold him.
Look,
He says, "Sure, give us a budget."
learn from Bill. That's the best I can say. I will look
Bill
into-
doesn't need a budget.
Bill is the budget.
budget. I'm looking to building out your guys' budget because y'all need more help here. If you're having this many issues, we're gonna need to get in contact with some governors and see what stuff we can get you guys. But in the meantime,
They seem to like the lax security because it lets them get through their contraband a lot easier.
yeah, no, we're gonna fix that after.
You've just told the wrong ranger.
You think he did that intentionally?
Yeah, no, totally understood Hernandez, but No more contraband. No more fun times. We're going.
Well, the thing is, since they probably stole Imperial stuff, there's a good chance that this is going to become Imperial control.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suspect there'll probably be a not a stronghold, a garrison coming out here.
So we mean we might actually have a decent computer system that doesn't fritz every time we get too many ships?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you might be unemployed.
Was there a
He says, bit from column A, bit from column B.
Outside of his initial sort of lack of helpfulness, he's actually given us a lot of information, like the manifests, the ships, all that other stuff. So, you know, he technically hasn't done that bad a job outside of the fact of just being a bit late on the scene in terms of the picking up the stolen ships and freighters.
I got that this.
I think it's
has,
more
like,
that he's doing what best he's
Yeah.
got access
Yeah, it's
to.
like-
Yeah, he doesn't
Means
have the
that,
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets paid for.
Yeah.
I got that this planet has like 20 different dignitaries, but is there like a governor of this planet or mayor,
It's sort of a council.
council?
That's gonna be fun.
They sort of do it by vote.
Gotcha.
That could be even more fun. Especially if the Gungan's on the council, which I think he is.
I don't remember.
The guy with the zoo, the big game hunter, is on the council.
Okay.
Yeah, thought it would be on the council.
Which is part of the reason of the Lex laws.
Yeah. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to get some more order onto this planet. Because this is a little too much. Okay.
Okay, so as you're doing stuff, you do get another transmission come through.
Mm-hmm.
This one from Betty. It's just a text message saying she has been contacted by someone named Guri who wishes to access your system on Elrood. With authorization from a Prince Sizor from XTS and has high-level authorization signed by the Emperor himself.
Can I assume that this Prince Caesar is like the Russian princes back before the Russian war between the White and the Reds, where you just buy your princeship?
From what you would, if you've heard of him, give me what's your character's?
I probably have
underworld?
really bad underworld. I don't think I've got any
It's
at all.
on this.
Oh no, I've got one.
You got one.
Yeah.
Also, Andrew, if you're talking about Nicholas II, that guy was absolutely useless, but meanwhile, I'll happily be rescued.
Well, what I'm actually talking about is that my great-grandfather bought himself a princeship, which made my Borsia technically a princess.
Okay, so your character hasn't heard of him.
Okay,
I've
right.
got an underworld of one.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Ross, your character has heard of him. But basically, he's the person that people says get stuff done, and he is the only prince who's a feline, a reptilian-like creature.
A feline, did you
Yep.
say?
So
did you
what's
say?
his attitude with the huts? Or
Uh,
is he just cool world?
His business is galaxy wide. He has interests. You know that every sector probably has an outpost from his company.
No, my great-grandfather.
Okay, so he's basically got legitimate stuff around here, but also a lot of illegal stuff.
Probably not in Elrood yet, but was probably in the middle of setting up Elrood business.
Yeah.
So were you saying, was Betty saying that he wanted access to our system?
Yep.
What,
Yeah, Big One starts swearing uncontrollably. No way in hell.
what was his name, the Zizor's representative?
Guri.
How do you...
Guri.
Oh, okay, that sounds very Russian, actually. I'm not stereotyping or profiling, by the way. asks.
I asked Betty, or I'll text back to Betty. I was like, does the check hold out? Does it look official?
It has been confirmed from Thrawn.
I have to give him access then.
Yep. But B1 can continue swearing.
Yeah, no, everyone's furious. Keep that dick out of our systems.
I was like, look, the boss of the boss of the boss of the boss gave him permission. I have to follow protocol.
I don't give a damn what that blue cretin says. Keep that dick out of our stuff.
How quickly our allegiance changed.
But it wasn't him. It was his boss's 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 boss.
Great. So some weirdo with a freaking overcoat and a bad eyeshadow tells him he can do it. Get out of it. No. Stay out of our systems.
No, I tell him to give him access.
I'm going to take that description and just think of it whenever I'm having a bad day, because
There
that's
you
going to
go.
make me smile.
There you go.
Every time I watch Star Wars now.
Yeah.
The guy with the bad eyeshadow.
Yeah. And the overcoat. You know, it's that whole trench coat sort of, you know.
It's wrong.
I'm just going to duck to the bathroom while you figure out what you're going to do next.
What's that one, you know you're worth it, the brand?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makeup brand, because you're worth it.
Because you're
Maybelline.
Maybelline, there you go, because you're worth it.
Maybe he's Emperor Palpatine. Oh, maybe she's bored with it. That's the one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
It's Palpatine.
Oh goodness, this is so hard for me right now because Kesley does not want to do this.
No.
Anna
Has
would
to.
absolutely do this.
Yep.
Same with like trying to crack down on corruption on Terrinoth. Kesley's like all for a pirate planet, chaos.
Yep.
But Kyra's like, this is
No.
complete dog shit. This, or sorry, but yeah, no, we can't have this.
I'm pretty sure dog shit is not the worst word that's come
It's not
up
the
on
worst
it.
one.
Yeah.
No.
Hey.
Dang ferret.
Dank Eric. Yeah, there you go. Right, what were you doing next then? Maybe trying to chase up our leads?
Yeah, the best we can do is chase up our leads. So, I guess coming back over to the other starport, I'll tell B1 and Thea and
Piper.
Piper to start asking for any witnesses in the area to see who was on board the ships. All that fun jazz.
Everyone refuses.
I expected so I'm expecting Thea to listen to my orders.
Yeah. It's
The only witness anyone wants to know about is the witnesses who recognize the fact that he saved the whole goddamn spaceport and then has somebody else get the credit for it.
I would like to just have it on record. I did not accept credit for it. That the Trandoshan walked away at that
in
point.
any way, shape or form. He just wants to get some sort of a mechanical brain to grab that guy and squish him like a bug.
And while B1's having that thought, you see one of the news guys coming up to Thea and saying, I hear your droid managed to rescue the starport. Do you have any words to the press?
Your droid.
I would say the droid is independent and extremely what's that word where you're really good at your job?
Really good at his job?
That word that says you're really good at your job. Yeah, and competent. Absolutely. Well above, our most excellent performing member of our Ranger team. We couldn't conduct our investigations without him.
And so as you say that, she pans away, and the reporter goes, and that's thanks to the Rangers for stopping the fire in the starport. Back to you.
I reckon at this stage I really have done what I can. I suggest to her that she may want to quote from the droid that did this, because, you know, that could get a lot of media attention.
So that was the best reaction.
As you say that, she goes, "Who'd want to hear from a droid?" as she walks off.
Oh, thanks, Barrett.
Anyone breaks a piece of the console off and throws it at her.
Does he hit?
I don't know, find out.
Yeah. Dice are being collected as we speak. This could either go really well or super bad.
Okay, so he feels really good about it, but he misses.
Oh, thank God.
A lot of frustration is gone with that piece of console as sparks are everywhere behind him as he throws it.
Yeah.
And of course, he doesn't have actual facial expressions, but you can just see it in his face.
I'm sure the eyes turn slightly and
Just
then...
Suddenly, like the red left to right from Battlestar Galactica droids.
Yeah.
So B1's now a pilot.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did B1 ever in his part scouting install like little eyebrows just for
Yeah.
Oh my
B1
goodness.
had eyebrows.
That would
Just
be
ends
awesome.
flopping eyebrows, love it.
That is absolutely dad joke heaven, that place.
I'm sure he also has installed a mustache too.
Oh god. Oh
my
my god,
Disguise
no.
himself.
And maybe a little goatee.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
please not a soul patch though.
So it looks like a Colonel Sanders sort of look.
Just like a little.
No, so what he has is whenever we need to go incognito, he just has one of those fake glasses with the nose and the mustache.
With the eyebrows?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are people who just look at it and treat you like a person while you wear it.
I need this
Absolutely.
today.
Yes. Hello, fellow meat sack.
It's so funny.
We all look
Anyway,
alike.
we come to the damage he's caused on the console and just whistles and walks away.
I
didn't know a droid could whistle.
Quite successfully, he can mimic many noises.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they can mimic just about anything.
Yep, he learned it from Bender.
Yeah.
Bend it like Bender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's actually a good one. I turn my attention to...
Shiny metal ass.
I was waiting for that. I was gonna say it myself, but I'm like, don't rob David of the moment.
I've been holding on to that for basically the entire time we've been playing.
Yep.
So the whole year.
Yeah.
So what does Arthea do?
I'd see if I can identify anyone who might, like, work here long term, like, not just a first responder type person, but someone who might have actually been here, or people.
You see what looks to be a customs inspector.
Okay.
He's a little burnt, but he seems to be trying to access a computer system nearby.
I also ask our exalted B1 whether or not he can take photos of anyone who looks like they might be here, so that if I can't talk to them now, I can possibly chase them up later.
Now,
Alright,
ask.
fine. Do I have a version of like a phone?
now I'm back to burning this place in the ground like it should have when it started.
Can you wait until I'm finished here first?
No,
Please?
it's an interrogation technique.
B1 ship's here too.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll go down with the whole
Yep.
space station, the whole spaceport right there.
Your sacrifice will be considered
I hate this
worthy.
place.
If I can't take photos, I'll just go to the custom officer.
Yep.
And introduce myself by rank and my purpose being there, and ask, did they see what happened? What information can they give me? Did they observe anything? Are there any records that might be relevant? Basically, the version of a polite cop interrogation.
Okay.
With flattery into being in it.
He says he doesn't know what happened, but
I'm so tempted to do a B1 right now and go, alright, fuck it, and then just walk off. But no, I'm gonna hear him out. Because Kayana would be proud of me if I did.
But
that we doing your job.
he says the starport control tower was destroyed in the fighting, and there's a lot of remains of people in the hangars where the ships took off from.
So a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's actually not good.
He thinks it's the crew of the ships.
Okay, so the crew of the ships that came in. Are there going to be people putting those people back together for burial, so to speak? Are they going to identify who's passed away?
He's currently trying to contact the hospital and the planetary security to see if what they want to have done, because this is his first time dealing with this stuff. Though, if you'd like to take over,
So if you would like to set up a crime scene.
Yes, that's kind of precisely what I'll do, but
his job's normally dealing with stealing stuff and smuggling.
Yeah, this might have some relation to it, so I'm still going to get his name and give him my details.
He's a custom officer Letal.
How do I spell that?
Letal.
I can help with autopsies and identification.
Yes, if you can start on that.
He looks over at B1 and he he thanks you for saving his life, because he was trapped by the fire.
Yep.
And he's glad they actually someone was competent enough to actually fix the systems.
Oh, good. I'll let you live for another day.
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
He's all right. I like him. Treat him nice.
I fully intend to, but now I'll try and do it even better.
Damn right, you know. I'm gonna go play with dead bodies. Bye.
Have fun. Don't play with them too much. Just
I have an image of him having a dead head and having a conversation with it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm about. To be honest, I was just about to say, please do not do a Hamlet, to be or not to be scene in front of the cameras.
They can scar using
Yeah.
Or a wild build and make out a clothes out of skin.
Can't be anything worse than they've done.
Can we just
sailing and he needs some sailcloth, so he's considering using skin.
Oh, yeah.
No, so in all seriousness, B1 will begin the process of attempting to find and identify marks on each body and attempt to categorize their body parts all into one pile each.
Okay.
Are there any
Also,
people who are
if he has access to system, he will attempt to cross-reference medical records with identifying marks, if that's possible. If not, we'll just put them all in their individual files.
Okay, you start putting together files, and Ariadne?
Also check with B1 that, if he sees any name tags on uniforms, if they've survived, to maybe just take note of those as well. Do they have some sort of genetic thing that they
do?
Yeah. Well, then he may not need the name tags then, just
but
the
the
DNA.
name tags do help, because that gives you a starting point.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because
whether the name tags match the genetic code.
Yeah.
And if they don't match the genetic code, then that's another problem.
Yeah, well, that'll also might end up being a lead in the sense of people posing as other people. I asked the custom officer, are there staff here that I can use to set up a perimeter around the crime scene?
He says, I'm sure his custom office was not in the actual starport control, so you can use that if you wish.
I set up base and start directing people.
So he's got a crate and what looks like a screen. That's his office.
Alright, yep.
He feels grateful that his office wasn't burnt to the ground like starport control.
Yeah, it would have been a great loss. I don't say that with sarcasm out loud, but in my head. Are there any people that I can commandeer to help set up a perimeter? People to actually stop unauthorized people from getting in here and messing with shit. Although, having B1 in the area will probably be a fairly suitable deterrent.
Technically.
Yep. The camera cuts to B1 as he's handling dead body parts. The headbone's connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the shoulders.
Who is technically not authority.
No, but
So
she's
Piper
also
has
not,
disappeared.
Kind of not
Oh,
functioning.
Piper has disappeared. So.
Did we
The shoulders
notice?
No.
connected to
You're busy putting out, trying to put out fires at the time.
Do I notice now?
Yeah.
I alert you that Piper's gone AWOL. And we might need to track her down.
I could
Considering she's your
send
responsibility.
Cat here
Yeah,
to go search for
yeah.
Mhm.
That's
So we
probably...
could do it that way. So
Yeah, that
they're off together.
ties it off a little bit neatly.
Keep Fabio with us. So.
So I set up what perimeter I can
Yep.
and go about trying to, find evidence and figure out things for myself. Using what data pads I have access to. I think I've got one on me that I can make notes in and stuff,
Yep.
so I'll use that. And, I will inform Kayana both of missing Piper and what I'm doing here, and the Lital, the custom officer that I've been talking to, and suggest that she may put B1 up for some kind of medal or recognition for saving the entire starport from burning to the ground. Because I think if I at least
connected to the water tap. Whoa.
I was gonna say
He'll get the consultant of the month for doing his job.
but at least when we're sleeping in the same room with him, he may not kill us.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. Alright. Over to you.
So, yeah, you inform me Piper's missing. I'll inform you that I'm sending Katia after her.
Yep.
With Starport's shut down but now in operation, are me and Khalid able to take our ship over to the other starport?
Well, your ship's already at the other starport. Yeah, your ship's not with you.
We did that. Okay.
Is it at the starport that we're at?
So we need to get over there.
Yep.
I will try to hail Maverick to get us over to the other starport.
Would Maverick still be in the vicinity with us?
Maverick's reporting that his taxi has been impounded.
Like who?
By the starport control.
Do I have authority to release that inbound? Or you?
Try it.
Yeah, well, I'll give it a go. I'll tell him I'm requisitioning Maverick and his vehicle for range of business with Imperial authority and then send him towards Kayana.
Okay.
Does that work?
Please don't die.
It does work because you have the authority too.
Okay.
Let someone.
Well, I figured.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be able to.
And the only time it becomes a problem is if whatever you do seems to be against the Empire.
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess me and Khalid go ahead and get in the death cab and head over to the other starport to assist with the investigation.
If you have
Okay.
those,
Okay.
now's the time to
Yeah.
pray.
So,
buckle up, and I'll while we're traveling, I'm going to try to see to breeze through this manifest.
Seatbelt,
Everyone do
safe
something.
lives.
Kayana will get in very carefully, put on her seatbelt. Good go.
Yes. and then your body's stuck against the back of the chair.
Yeah, it's like the G-force. I'm like,
You look good though. You know.
yeah, it's how you get those.
This is the time to take selfies.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the oldest of the group, so it's just like, I'm just like.
No more wrinkles. And just for like the 10 minutes it's going to take him to do 1 hour trip across the city.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
And as you're coming in an hour later, B1's still doing their scanning of all the bodies and checking things because there are that many.
Oh yeah.
He's counted up to about 50 of them.
As you arrive,
50.
As you arrive, B1 kicks up at his armor and says, "Wow, buddy, looks like this mission cost you an arm and a leg."
Dr. Chuckles back at
Yep.
it again.
Yep. Look, he's not doing his job if he doesn't make us laugh.
And as you're coming in, you see a Imperial shuttle also coming down.
Okay.
B1 uses a spare arm to
To wave? Oh no.
Yeah, no. I was actually expecting that you'd like get a spare leg and wave with that because, you know.
Talking about how he doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
So I guess
Nice.
we make sure.
You probably only do that if he was drunk. Because then
We're
you
surrounded by them.
So I guess we'll make sure that there's space for the Imperial shuttle. And,
Yep.
yeah, they're all clear to land and stuff. And
They don't care for clearance. They just land near the area.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
But they don't need
I'll
it,
go
I guess.
ahead and walk to greet them. I guess.
You see a squad of army, probably naval troopers coming out, looking to help secure the scene.
Thank God.
And
if I'm currently in charge, I will disperse them.
And Lieutenant Sandimo comes over and says, "How can I help?"
I greet him and then thank Dank Ferric he's here. I don't know who Dank Ferric is, or Ferric more precisely, or what Dank means. But, you know, it seems to be the only acceptable expletives I can use, so I'm going to use them.
So yeah, with that, I'll also catch him up on the situation and just say there was an attack on this starport. Two freighters from XTS were taken. We're shooting at civilians, and then exited the atmosphere. Presumably jumped. There are this many bodies. Our B1 droid consultant has been cataloging them, so he has all the information that you may need there.
And if you need a lesson in anatomy, he's really good at that.
He said he's medically trained, so if there's any anomalies, he'll be able to pick those up. And yeah, this is as much as we have. The shuttles that were taken were of note to Admiral Thrawn.
Says, yes, he's been given a rundown on what the shuttles were containing and the personnel that was supposed to be delivering.
The other thing we need to ascertain to see is that actually were still on board the ships, or they were offloaded and the ships left to mislead us.
Yep.
Because you've also got that as well. So I recommend that no ships leave until further authorizations.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Did you just say there's a person missing as well as starport stuff?
He has the personnel that were on the ships.
Okay,
That were supposed to be on the ships,
So he has-
listed of who they are.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, he's got all
profile.
their details.
And what
Which
was
he
supposed to be
can
on the ships
match
as well.
up with
the
the
equipment
one. Okay.
manifest.
Yeah,
Cool.
awesome.
So all the information that should have been at the control towers.
Well,
Okay.
they don't always get that sort of stuff.
So cool. So I'll walk over with Samila over to B1 to see if B1 has found anything of note with these bodies. Such
The-
as, are these muscly bodies that could potentially be pirates?
Looking at
Why are
them,
you assuming all pirates are muscly?
Yeah, that's fair.
a lot of them do look like they were muscly and had decent gear on them.
They're more likely to be mercenaries, but if they're
Yeah.
pirates, shouldn't we be finding like prosthetic legs and hands and stuff?
And little
Eye
birdies.
patches? Yeah. Stuck to shoulders.
So the bodies do look like mercenaries.
Well, they
They're
look like they
fixed.
all belong to one group.
Yeah.
Well, most of them look like they belong to one group. Besides the random people caught in the crossfire.
Okay, did any of the crew actually survive?
By checking against things, it doesn't look like any crew members survived.
That's not so good.
Yeah. The rest of them who were still firing were, what's it, security for the spaceport.
The security forces for the spaceport did engage with them because they had started a gunfight and were stealing ships at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Just-
we were fired at on by the people who had stolen the freighters in the stolen freighters.
Yeah.
So, one thing that the droid did pick up on 2 of the bodies he did examine. B1 found the insignia for an organization known as Black Sun.
Okay, that rings a bell, and not a good one. Is Black Sun like the Huts?
No, the Huts.
No, there's
The Huts
they're
work
another
for
cartel.
So they're just a cartel. Yeah.
Not a cartel, the cartel.
They're the
Oh,
cartel.
okay. All right.
The huts are small compared to these.
Okay.
The Huts work for people.
Well, I guess what I meant, like, are they like mob type people? Was more what I was meaning, but that's okay. It's all good.
So 2 of the bodies had insignias for Black Sun. So we can presume these were members of the attacker.
Unsure.
Unsure. Does it look like? I guess is my question. Like, does it look like there were any attackers that were killed in this attack?
Okay.
Are we able to suss that out?
Let's see as you.
That could be possible, actually.
Yeah.
As Sandimo goes through the list of people you've got there. He tries to do a bit of analysis for you and says apparently he's not able to determine if any of the attackers were killed and left behind.
Gotcha.
There's enough unknowns that it could quite easily be some of them. But he does confirm, having a look at things, that none of the unknowns were the ones with the Black Sun insignia.
Okay.
They were crew members.
So the 2 of the Black Suns and were crew members.
But he does say that does not mean that they betrayed the crew or had stowed away and were the inside man on the job.
They were registered crew members.
Yeah.
Is what it means, yeah.
But the thing is,
Capacity skill to get that
with
many
the
missing.
Prince's shady business, he could have been dealing with the Black Sun.
Could have been, yes.
I think you go.
It,
I
it
can't
normally
read it
does pull out.
Basically, my hands are not cooperating.
Yeah.
Here, you want to put more in there?
Can you?
Yeah, you can put about 3 to 4 in there at a time.
See how we go. That literally leaves 1 in the thing, so
No.
maybe just stick them all in. It'll be easier than having to deal with this.
So yes, he says that it looks like they were crew members. Hard to tell from anything whether or not they were betrayed or were actually part of everything going on.
Okay, hard to say.
There's not enough evidence or footage to prove one case or the other. But he does like the work your droid has done.
Yeah, that's good.
Can he borrow it again?
Sure.
I'm sure he's got some other tasks he could put the droid to if the droid's willing to work for him.
I was going to say, but you need to ask the droid.
You would need to talk to
Yep.
B1 yourself. He is currently with us in a consultant capacity, but if he wishes to work with you, it's up to him.
No one owns this droid.
Well, somebody owns this droid. It doesn't actually own the droid.
Yeah, no one owns the droid. I would say, technically, if someone tried to establish ownership, they may become deceased.
Yeah, very quickly.
You know, from a natural causes type deal.
Blood Force trauma is natural cause.
Especially when there's a droid ramming your head into something.
You could
God,
call,
we get dark sometimes.
well, you can also call death by energy a natural cause.
Very true, very true.
Even if it is someone shooting at you at the time.
Yeah. So they cannot definitively say that 2 are attackers, but they at least stand out. Okay.
Just so you know, they actually do have an actual symbol for it.
Oh yeah. Why do I recognise that?
So, Ross, if you have not seen it before, that's the actual symbol.
Have I seen that before? Maybe in your books, maybe.
In my
rather
books,
than-
potentially.
Not in game, I presume.
Not in game, no. And you do see on the manifest it seems to call the machine parts the interceptor program.
Oh, okay. So the starport ship parts are the interceptor projects.
Yeah.
Project.
Apparently a new form of TIE fighter under development.
Busy writing. There we go.
Okay. That's curious then.
So would that be starship parts? Would that be the...
Apparently
Yeah.
prototypes of a new starship. Starfighter for the Empire.
So they're marked with the interceptor project.
Yeah.
I presume safely, I guess, that this would be like a top secret type deal generally.
And using non-imperial transports to transport it would also mean that it was a secret project. Because it wasn't going through official channels.
Did you say TIE fighter?
Yes.
So I get all the X, Y's and T's all mixed up sometimes.
All good.
Okay, so assess the body, damage.
Can we have dinner yet? And coffee?
I'll just tell.
Well, there's a smell of bacon.
I'll just tell
And chicken?
Lieutenant Sandimo, like, we can continue to investigate this however you see fit, because from what I can tell, this now falls under Imperial authority.
Unofficially, he's here.
Unofficially. So,
Keep us in the loop.
if there are any things, definitely just let us know. But as far as I can tell, this is what we got. So, were there any
Run while
other
we're getting
were there
good.
any other witnesses in the area other than the customs officer?
He's happy to start investigating and trying to find and track them down for you.
That would be great.
He'll get his officers onto that immediately and see how many people he can round up.
I'd transfer any data I've got to him to share.
Sounds good.
Hopefully make one.
He starts up a network for you so you can share data.
Nice.
Cool. I thank him.
You see he sends off about 20 or 30 drones around the starport to start scanning and looking.
Later
Recording.
on, I'm presuming, just in case I forget, I will see if I can organise meal and coffees to go over to the people, because I presume there's no access to food and stuff because it's all exploded and they probably need stuff to run off.
There are lots of stuff on the outskirts of it because it was the centre that had the problem, not the edges.
I'll send something decent into Sandimo because he works hard and he's been very nice to us.
So, with the surveillance and that, how long did it go down for?
It went down for probably about 6 hours.
Wow.
But
nobody noticed.
well, the thing is, the people who could have told you it went down were in the starport control tower because they're the ones who were watching it, and that's been blown up with everyone on board presumed dead.
Yep.
They may have been killed before it went down.
Yep.
Okay, with the surveillance and that, is it both towers and that control? So the other tower would actually have copies of this site as well?
It has copies of everything before the feed was cut.
So, yeah, feed was cut, and then nothing.
Okay.
Since
So what we need is also the last 6 hours, if there's any external that's not on site that actually can see comings and goings of people.
I was gonna say if businesses.
Yeah, because I watch a lot of true crime and that's what they do.
Yeah.
In fact, I just watched one where the guy turned off all of his in-home cameras, killed his wife, and they used all the neighbours' cameras to actually catch him doing it.
Yeah.
The other question I was going to say is I indicate to Sandino that he may want to, whatever medical examiner is looking over the bodies from the tower, try to determine if they were shot rather than exploded, if he can determine that kind of injury.
He expects that they were killed before the tower went down.
Yeah, I expect so too, but I'd like to confirm it because dot I's cross T's.
Yep.
Him and I are in the same club.
And also work out what actually caused the explosion.
Because you see, he's basically, when he's doing stuff, he's putting together it as a timeline.
Yeah.
Which sort of gives you an idea of just what he does when he does put things together. So after you're watching him for about work for about an hour or so, you don't hear any news from Kadkia or Piper.
That's a worry.
And
Gambling,
and you do see that the timeline is starting to get filled up with lots of different things, including people, places, and video footage.
On that note, with Kadkia and Piper, I suggest to Clanna that I might try and put like a bulletin out to any casinos.
To not serve.
Well, not to serve, but to maybe alert us if they see them, so that we might have a means of tracking down where they went, because they are, even if they decide.
One is a ranger themselves.
Yes, but still, Kadkia and Piper.
Yeah.
Casinos and alcohol. It's not a bad guess. So yeah, if you're okay with me putting out that bulletin, I will.
Okay.
Something might pop up down the track.
Okay. And then you do see that the initial reports from Sandimo, after him looking at it for about an hour or so, say that they used a droid to cut the main lines, showing what looks to be a simple drone.
I was going to say, please don't make it look like B1.
So simple
Hilarious,
drone.
but yeah.
A little vulture droid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a very a small little droid managed to just cut the lines, and there's also footage of the starport tower from a distance with flashes for the within 10 minutes of that happening, which he says points to evidence of a firefight with the scorch marks that they have identified on scene, and then says that the assailants were surprised by the guards of the freighters, because apparently that's when Starport security got involved, which happened about half an hour after the tower was taken.
So 10 minutes later, the attack happened, and then I lost the timeline.
So about half an hour after the Starport control tower was taken, there was the firefight at the freighters. And that's when Starport security got involved, because he believes the hijackers didn't expect any resistance.
That bit I got. It was just the times. Thank you.
But they were using explosives and toxic gas. So some of the bodies died from poison, some from fire, and most from being shot or burned. Yeah, so the evidence of about 40 crew stealing the two transports. So it wasn't a small group.
How much crew do you require to pilot those transports?
He says normally those transports, he says, would only need about 4 to 8. They're not normally heavily crewed, so he's surprised that there was such a big support staff on there.
So there's 40
Because
crew on each frame?
there was about 40 crew all up.
All up.
And then they put about and they had 20 hijackers go to each ship. And it was almost an even fight, except for the fact that the freighter people weren't expecting to be attacked.
Yeah.
Even though they were obviously trained to repel an attack.
Yeah.
And heavily armed and over-equipped.
Yeah.
He also says the weapons on the freighters were military-grade weapons. So the starport control towers were unable to stop
I
them.
need you to pause. So I've got 40 crew up, 20 attackers for each. I've got trained mercenaries, heavily armed and over-equipped, and then after that...
The freighters themselves had military-grade
Okay,
weapons.
yeah, thank you.
Which he says it is unusual, but considering they're transporting top-secret cargo, understandable. And the company has a do not detain order from on the Empire Register.
Alright. What was that last thing about the register?
The Imperial Register for the ships have a do not detain order.
Okay, alright. Thank you.
Which he finds unusual for a non-military vessel. But he would not question that one too much.
Yeah.
People who make such who can authorize something like that generally don't like questions.
Yeah.
He found that out the hard way, he says.
Yeah, that's why he's a lieutenant.
So how many other freighters are here?
He says, looking through the thing, there is about 20 other freighters listed, and according to the logs you picked up, 5 of them left the system on this day, not counting the ones left behind. So, all up, there has been a lot of movement on this planet, but he says that it's a major trade hub, so...
Did you say 5 left straight away?
No, 5 left before the incident.
Yeah.
On this day. So any one of them could be associated with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wouldn't do any harm to track them down should we have the resources and the capacity.
One of them being the ship associated with Officer Fabio's wife.
Whisper?
Yep.
Whisper. I remembered something.
You did?
Did that leave before or after the death was advertised?
Before the death was advertised.
That's interesting. Because we have contact with Sean Mandel, we might be able to see if they can give us any information. Maybe
Can we
just
get any video footage of that ship? Just curious on who was boarding it.
Okay, unfortunately, the footage of that is gone because that happened around the time the everything went down.
the 6 hour
It's in that 6-hour window.
But because you've got that personal sort of thing with Chandra, you could just contact her and under the sort of excuse for lack of a better word or reasoning that, well, since you were there, maybe you noticed something.
Mm-hmm.
And we might be able to find out something more, like whether they're involved or so on and so forth.
They're probably out of the system now, so we can't contact them.
But she gave us contacts for her though, with her like company, which I can't remember the mining company,
Brandell Mining.
And so she's definitely given us ways to get in contact with her, so we could try.
Yeah, I'm just curious if a certain person decided to lead with them.
Like Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Piper was with us.
No, Piper was with.
No, Piper was in the car with us with Maverick at the start of this day's episode. So
And
Piper
she
can't
left
be
you.
on the Whisper.
I thought he went back to the hospital.
No, she
That's
came.
what I was sending B1, Piper, and Thea to the hospital because the bounty was sent out.
And the attack happened, so we diverted to the attack. So
Yeah.
she never made it back to the hospital or Fabio. But she did see the death notice of Fabio, which might be why she's on a drinking binge with Katka.
Or it has gone catatonic and has
Yeah.
ran off and found some way to be smuggled off planet in order to chase after
Yeah,
Spike.
rather than catatonic,
Yeah.
which would suggest no movement at all.
Exactly.
She's gone on a rage bender.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Determine that. Yeah.
So that's up to Catchy to find her and find out.
Yep. Well, Katka did salvage, so this is a salvage mission of sorts.
We shall find out when they come back. Okay, so you have a whole bunch of leads. You end up having a accommodation sorted out for you by San Dimas or one of the local hotels.
Yay.
It's actually fairly decent accommodation. Currently paid for by the corporation that lost their ships.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's XTS.
Yep.
But Sandima arranged it.
Yep.
Because it suggests like all the other stuff, like their private ship with what looks like weapons and things like that. So it kind of all speaks of that maybe continues interests in this project.
And in the morning, you are greeted by a captain of the Star Destroyer.
Is that Admiral Thrawn?
Captain of the Chimera.
Thrawn's destroyer, but it's the captain of Thrawn.
Yes, Captain Pelion.
We're all busily writing.
I know.
He is able to tell you that Thrawn has decided to give you any resources you need to track down the assailants. And says that that's all your other priorities are now secondary.
Did we kind of finish most of the stuff we were doing for family?
For family, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's something.
Nothing for Thrawn, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, but at least now that our priorities have changed, we've at least taken care of family first, and
For the most.
for the most part,
The
yeah.
only thing we haven't found was the
Helmet
ship,
stuff.
which
And that
is,
might come up in this investigation, so yeah. Well, because they had 6 ships stolen, so who knows if there's an unrecorded number of other ships, and one of them could have been the Helmet. Which would be interesting, because if they're using a Mandalorian sort of clan transport company type deal to transport...
The ship wasn't Mandalorian.
Wasn't
I think
it?
it was just a standard.
No, Hail Me was a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's Count Kia's family's
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, so if the Imperials were using one of our ships to transport their Starship Interceptor stuff, that would be a very interesting set of circumstances.
Okay.
They don't look. nothing says that the Imperials are looking for that ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing says that the Imperials are looking for that ship. We were the only ones looking into it. It's just now this takes
Priority
as it was an active attack. This is the best thing. Most releases are going to be within the next 48 hours, so.
For the sake of plausible deniability, I guess nothing completely stops me from looking into the missing of Hail-Me under the guise that it might be one of these ships, but if it doesn't, well, you know, it was kind of a lead, and if I happen to find out where Hail-Me went as a part of that, you know, I'm pretty sure Sandemo and I can work something out.
So you also notice that the records that Sandemo basically spent the entire night going through stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'll spend time reading through.
So there's about another 50 odd interviews, a lot of camera footage from various places and angles.
So you guys have fun and I'll do all the reading.
Yeah. Have they actually worked out what this cleaning mob? The name of this cleaning one?
The
Decontamination.
They're just listed as decontamination. There's no company, there's no people, there's no IDs. It's basically.
I'm guessing no footage whatsoever.
Who was the head of security at this starport?
No footage, and it's not even it's not even scheduled. So basically, it was on the system, not on the system at one moment, and then on the system at the next, without actually getting logged on the system.
Is there a way to trace how it was put on the system? This is me not knowing anything about computers.
He believes it was hacked. The signature says that it was most likely a droid. And it does seem to coincide with the other decontamination sequences as well.
Would our droid be able to pursue?
I was going to say, with that, does it seem to be a similar, I don't know how to say it, IP address of which this is coming from?
Well, he says the signature of the hack seems to be similar.
Seems to be similar.
Yeah. Though, he does not know the differences between models of those sort of droids, so it may simply be 6 different droids, but the likelihood of having 6 different droids hack and use the exact same codes are quite low.
Okay, so it looks to be like same hacking droid.
But he has also identified another 20 instances where that droid has accessed the system.
Anyone asks if he can have access to the data and to analyze it?
He gives it to B1, including the specs of the droid doing it.
Yep, B1 will go fiddle around and do some interviewing.
Okay. B1 has a look at it. So B1 looks through it, and again, apparently one success, but lots of advantages. So looking through it, B1 manages to figure out that this connection seems to happen every time freighters from outside the sector that don't have companies based in the region land on the planet.
Okay.
So it's not a common thing that happens, but it probably happens about once every 3 to 4 weeks, and normally for freighters that have a reputation for low defenses.
Okay.
You know, pirate bait freighters. And the amusing thing is, the 2 freighters that they stole have a reputation for being easy to take.
Okay, so they were tipped if she spends 5.5 seconds analysing it, hands the pad back, it's okay, I figured it out.
They've taken
And then realize all the information out.
Yeah. Well, they've taken them not realising what they're taking.
And every other freighter that they had taken, the companies weren't able to kick up a stink about it.
Interesting that
they just happened to.
Okay. Which areas were they taken from?
They were basically taken from Well, they don't actually know because officially the ships took off on schedule.
Yeah, but were they taken from here or from somewhere else?
It's impossible to tell because they were registered as leaving from here on schedule with the crew, and then not there's no record of them after that point.
Is there any record of unidentified bodies going up at the same time as these crews taking off? I guess.
Not that they have on record. Yeah. Everything is normally identified at that stage
I was gonna say,
and scheduled.
I don't think they would even have the way to even start.
Yeah, well, there goes my idea.
What was that?
If they actually were stealing freighters and they also were stealing them from other starports, what we could have done is another freighter come in, get them to steal it, and basically...
Yeah, set up a bait ship. We could possibly still do that.
Yeah, but the problem is if it's coming here, the security's being ramped up like anything.
Yeah,
the only reason why they were doing it here because the security was useless.
Well, that doesn't mean that we can't, say, talk to other Imperial people, determine another low security starport on a planet, close enough.
Yeah, we just need to know if they've actually been targeting those other starports.
All the Imperial security is here at the primary starport. We could set up a bait ship at the secondary starport because all the security is here, so all their attention is here. So the second starport, quote unquote, is unprotected. Yeah.
So you do see a note from Sandemo. He doesn't expect them to try to sell another ship for at least a month.
Yeah.
But that would give us. Well, we could either recommend to
the
Imperials
I don't
to
think
do it,
Thrawn
or
will be that patient. Correct?
No.
We could.
Because I've got a sneaking suspicion this is his pet project.
Yes, but in case he doesn't make any progress, it's not necessarily something that would be a waste of resources.
It's a backup plan.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It doesn't hurt to have a backup plan. I've had to use backup D sometimes. And that's when I've started at A.
So... Okay.
It's something we can put in our report as recommendations
these
if no progress
freighters-
is made.
Yep,
Yeah.
So were they also upgraded as well?
they were.
All of
So
them?
they basically...
Sorry, just the last two.
Just
The
the
last
last
two
two.
were upgraded.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So basically they just look like
Normal
standard freighter, but they're military grade freighters.
So it just happens
So
to be the...
also all the weapons on it's military grade, the armor's military grade.
The engines are military grade.
It's funny about no
So these pirates have got
Sounds
a
like an
major
accident.
upgrade on two of their ships.
apparently.
The question is are they smart enough to know what to do with what they've got?
Because it just seems that they just managed to find...
They accidentally stole a really good gold mine.
It depends if they are Black Sun or not.
So
If
you-
they're
Well,
not, there's a good chance
they're
they're probably
Black Sun,
maybe
because-
stupid. If they are Black Sun,
Yeah.
they'll know what they've got.
Well, if
So-
they're Black Sun, they might actually be hiding this theft in amongst the bigger pool of thefts so that it looks like they accidentally took this ship, but they actually wanted it all along.
So Sandemo estimates that each of the other freighters was probably worth about maybe 100 to 200,000 credits for the theft of ship and parts.
Yeah.
Whereas each of these ones was probably valued at the 1.5 million credit mark.
Yep. Makes sense.
Okay, what would it be if would be classed as if it was a standard one, not military upgraded?
Standard one would have been in the 1 to 200,000 credit mark.
Yeah, that's what the other thing that annoys the crap out of me is this is the first time they've actually attacked the tower. Previous times they haven't.
Previous times they had not attacked the tower.
Yeah. That's why it kind of leads you into the idea that maybe Black Sun are using this as a cover.
But
for
also
a
previously
general
they didn't take two ships at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, previously it was just one ship at a time.
It's a lot harder to sneak off with two ships than one.
I suggest this to Sandino as a theory. and see what he thinks.
He says if Black Sun's involved, then we'll be lucky if we wake up tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
He says they don't play fair.
But
but the
what
other thing
does
is,
he
would
think of the
Black Sun go
credibility of
against
theory?
the Imperial?
Oh, he says that they would if they thought they could get a profit out of it. It's a criminal organization. They'll steal from anyone.
It's not the first time thieves have done something like this. Like, cartels have hidden major thefts in amongst, like, other general these sort of groups. So
So it
because,
says
you're
this
taking
shipment
something
wasn't
from
scheduled.
Thrawn, you want...
This wasn't a scheduled shipment.
So these ships were on planet for 2-3 days, depending on the ship. I'm just curious how they got information on how fancy these ships were for the scouting area.
As far as the Starport Control is concerned, these weren't fancy ships. They just had them
They
not registered. They just have them down as the stock standard ship base it was based on.
And seeing that they changed their way of attack. Wait, no, because they were scheduled for decontamination, and that's when the attack started. So it could have been. Is there any?
He does have some information that he had that the XPS personnel were working in the Starport Control Tower.
I'm guessing that crews don't normally go into the control tower.
Normally they don't. He has no idea how they got permission to do so, but considering they've got so many red flags against them for do not detain, they probably had some authority they could use to get in.
So you may think that it may be an inside job.
Yeah.
He says it may be an inside job, but it may also be that there was no way to take the ships without taking the tower. They were probably locked down by the tower by the people when the things went dark.
So if there was XTS people going in, is there footage of the XTS personnel that went in?
He does have footage of them going in.
Are we able to identify with which bodies it is? Like, is it the Black Sun marked ones?
No, it wasn't any of the Black Sun marked ones in the tower.
Okay.
But there's also signs that the each of the ships that were stolen had been locked down before they were taken. So it looks as if when the power was, the data was cut, both of the ships were locked down by the Starport Control Tower. And then the fighting started. So his timeline of events shows that someone cut the feeds. At the time the feeds were cut, both starships were locked down. Then the Starport Control Tower was attacked.
So the lockdown part, is that just for these two freighters or for all of the freighters?
Just those two freighters.
Just those two freighters, yeah.
And as soon as the tower was taken, those ships were unlocked. And that's when the open firefight happened.
So possibly someone within, like some people in XTS or XTS themselves want the ships. That'd be they're XTS are pretty much the, aside from Imperials, pretty much the only people who would have access.
We would question
the G guy. Our contact. I wrote his name down.
Guri.
That's it. That might be worth.
It would be worth contacting Bury to say if they had given permission to any crew members to enter the tower mainly questioning if they had any knowledge of these actions. If not, it seems that they have rats in their system.
Because we could also use, oh well, maybe not only if he's there, but in the past B1 has like monitored heart rates and breathing and things like that
It would
to.
only work if he was in place.
Yeah, that would only work if he's there. Because even if he can see them visually and maybe get their breath rate, he's not going to get the heart and that unless you hook him up to stuff that's put into the system that he can access. Like if you plug it into
You
like
can
a
go
network.
ahead and convince him to do that, sure. But, yeah.
I don't know, with B1, interrogating people seems to, appeal to him to a certain degree. Especially if you can accidentally shock them while he's doing it.
So, yeah, if we could maybe try to contact Guri to see if there was authorization given for crew members to seek control to tower access and name which crew members.
Okay.
So that we can see, are those crew members among the dead? Are they not?
Okay, so Sandemo contacts the Star Destroyer to see if he can organize that for you. And about half an hour later, he says he has a Guri on the line. And they're about a day out of Elrood before they'll arrive.
Did you want to talk to Guri at this stage?
So yeah, I'll go ahead and ask Guri. I asked him, in part of our investigation, we found that there were some members that had access to the control tower. Did XTS give permission to any crew members to gain access to the control tower as part of your transport?
Okay, you hear a feminine voice on the line come down and hear her say that they had orders to monitor all cameras from the starport on their transports while they were docked. As standard security for this transport. They've been given Imperial authorization to gain access to starport control towers to make sure no one could sneak up on them while they were...
Yeah, they didn't do their job very well.
Well, they did lock the thing down as soon as the feeds went.
I would say, can you give us...
And gives you a list of names of the people, and they match up to those who went in.
Gotcha. And the ones that...
Are they all dead?
Yeah,
They do come, they are all listed as dead.
Have they worked out what caused the explosion on the tower?
Yeah, someone had thrown in a shrapnel grenade and then a thermal detonator. So basically they took out the tower with a big bomb.
Okay.
You would have expected the shrapnel grenade to have been enough, but apparently it wasn't.
Apparently.
Considering we've got someone like a droid that's able to hack, should we, like the droid that B1 was tracking, should we check to see whether or not any of the data that gives us information about the staff who died has been hacked, perhaps alter it to make it look like someone who broke in died but actually didn't die? We're talking about someone who's like a double agent or something like that, I'm guessing. I don't know if it's feasible, it's just something that the hacking thing made me think of. You want a drink?
I just see if I had any left.
A thermal detonator.
Mm-hmm. So, big boom.
I guess I don't have any further questions for Guri, so I'll just say, well...
But was Fury distinctly male before?
You never had any description of
Okay,
Fury.
it was
You
text.
assumed it was
Yep.
male.
Yep. I blame it on the patronistic society that our culture is based on. I don't sound like that's right.
They do have a picture of what she looks like.
Ooh, Ooh, oh.
From that perspective.
I'm not quite sure where to go from here. It looks like we've tracked down
That's what
these two
Zone
men.
looks like.
Hold it. Oh, wait. Is he one of the fish people?
Not a fish person, no. But he is reptilian related.
Interesting.
So not a tarp?
Yeah.
Not one of those ones, no.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you get notification from her that she should be here in the next day, which sort of sounds sort of fast. Either she was on her way here or she's.
Do we know where these freighters were headed after they left here?
They were headed for Elrood.
Okay. Oh, right, yeah. You said that before, sorry.
But they may not have been delivering the cargo there. They may have been.
Just not have been
You had the idea that they were going to offload them on the way out of system when the Chimera showed up. That was the plan.
They'd probably have to hop on over, and there's definitely a Star Destroyer in between there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what Martin was saying with the Chimera.
You know, you'd think that because the scheduled departure was a couple of hours after the incident happened,
Yeah.
so they had to move up the departure time.
Yeah.
And if they had have departed on schedule, they would have run right into the Star Destroyer.
So in other words, they knew that the Star Destroyer was fronting out.
Oh no, they didn't. The fact that they had the gunfire fight meant they had to leave early. Every other time they left on schedule. So when they stole the ships, they left on the schedule the ship was meant to leave on.
Oh, okay.
So no one actually knew the ships were being stolen at the time.
Yep.
So that would have been interesting. They front up and they the Star Destroyers expecting them to be docked with them.
Yeah, it would have been a rude awakening for them if they had have actually stolen them the way they've stolen all the other ones.
Okay.
So they got lucky in two senses there.
They struck the jackpot.
Yeah, for sure. And
Same here. This is why I didn't enter into a career as an investigator. Somehow I ended up being a ranger.
So Sandimo also believes that from the footage he's managed to gain and the people he has interviewed, that it's one of the local pirate gangs who has stolen the freighters.
Okay. Well, now you got your pirates.
I was gonna
Shall we see if we
say,
can go after
should we
them?
Because they
one of the local pirate gangs. I guess that means we have to do some
Research.
underworld investigation.
I do believe we want to speak to our enforcement ranger. I believe he has underworld. eBay would too, but I don't know how much we can use eBay.
Okay, so he identifies them belonging to Dorok's pirate fleet, a pirate with a reputation for leaving no witnesses.
Okay.
But they do have footage of a guy with tattoos on his head in the shape of a dragon.
Okay, that's an interesting place to stick it, but sure. Not very secret organisation, I'm guessing.
Why does it feel like slightly racist? It's cool.
Sorry? Oh. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So just so you can see it there, he does have a dragon tattoo on his head.
So, which pirate party did you say this was?
Dorok. D-O-R-O-K. So far, he hasn't done anything that has annoyed the Empire.
As now.
So I guess with that, I think we need to start tracking down the pirate Dorok, as he is the most
known pirate in this area, if he didn't steal the ships himself, he would at least know.
Well, they have footage saying that they can identify it as his men.
As his men.
And that at least 10 of them died in the attack of the freighters, but they took the bodies with them.
Ah! See, that's smart.
Part of the leaving no evidence behind sort of thing.
Yeah. Look. Do you need food?
Another drink would be good. And it's rumours he's named his ship The Last Thing. As in, the last thing you see before you die.
Ha.
I'm not getting chicken.
That's really funny.
You need to eat in front of you. He's sitting in front of his bowl, but because I'm at the fridge, he's like, is chicken an option?
Chicken?
That's some probably flat energy drink that you have with you.
So, with that,
Do you want to
did San Diego get any information on last known whereabouts of Dorok or any of his crew?
Unfortunately, he says all his records say is Elrood Sector.
Cool.
Apparently, he operates throughout this sector
Yeah.
and has contacts and friends. So
Makes sense.
now a lot less friends.
I don't think so.
As since he made that identification, XTS has put out a bounty of 50 credits per head of pirate from his organization.
50 credits per crew member of Dorok.
Head of the crew member, not the rest of the body.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Just once the head.
Just the head. Okay.
That's actually fairly cheap.
I was going to say that same.
And if anyone can bring in the head of Dorok himself, they're offering 50,000 credits for his head alone.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's fair.
But they would like the heads of the rest of the organization as well.
Yeah.
Did you say you wanted a yogurt or something?
No, I said it's just a drink.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Me, 2 second memory.
All good.
Just gonna keep the bathroom quickly.
Okay. Which, as a bounty, is a significant bounty for a person that may draw in huge attention into the region you're in. Basically, that is the equivalent of a elite hunter bounty.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess it's time for us to start seeing if we can get any information underground about Dorok and things like that. Start investigating that way. Does our underworld expert at this time have any idea where to start?
Welcome. Let's see. Well, I probably would have to also observe the ships coming in.
Well,
So,
they're
probably
likely
just-
going to lay low for a while now.
Well, everything that you've seen about them says that they would not strike again within about 3 weeks of taking something.
Yeah.
So it was a hit, probably a celebration, and then whatever planning they do before they hit again.
Yep.
You do know that there is a center of crime on Korad that you could probably ask, because there is a very helpful crime lord on there.
Oh, true.
And there's also the squib on Marissa, I think it. No, I think he. Which one?
No.
No,
he
which one was he
on?
on? He probably was on Korad actually.
Yeah.
Just trying to remember which planet's which.
Korad
Was that the one that was the abandoned, had all the abandoned ships in
Yeah,
it?
Korad was the one with the abandoned ships.
Yeah.
Which was the one that had the It was Kidron that had the other people on it.
Okay.
It's hard when the names are so similar and you go,
Right.
which one was it?
Cora, Kendra.
They both start with K.
Yeah. Okay. I remember who. It may be worth. You might have to contact the person on Kidron. That would be who I would start with. But hold on, who would be going on Kidron? What's their name?
And also, the big hunter you ran into.
Yeah, there's what's her face?
Rhea.
Yeah, Freya.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, who's the crime boss in
The Twilight head of city.
Oh.
He was head of the city sanctuary. Refuge, city of refuge. Keep Fortuna. While crime is especially the one place you can't enslave anyone,
Yeah.
but anything else is basically available except for slavery.
Gotcha.
Sounds like a place that they will probably go for partying.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have to go all the way to what do you think? Should we try to send word to Fortuna on Kidron just to talk to them, or do you think we have to go all the way to Kidron to talk to him? Probably.
Well, from your travel perspective, that's probably about maybe 4 to 5 hours travel.
Oh, from a truck. Oh, unless it's apparently us flying. Takes forever.
It does when you misfly.
Yeah. Colin, what do you think?
I think probably flying there would be easier because we don't actually. For us to contact them, it means that we have to use the holonet.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, I guess that would be...
Though you have been offered full Imperial support for this.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah.
you can use the holonet.
No, but the thing is, it might scare the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Quite possibly to have calls come through. It basically means power and money is asking for his attention. Because they're the only two things that get access to the holonet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it could work either way. It either will make him afraid, or on the opposite side, will make him basically want a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Then I say we should. Well, what if we went to? What do you think the possibility of the crazy dude on Korad in like the junk pile?
Well, he might be aware of where they might get rid of their stuff.
You know, that's fair. So let's go ahead and just do a jump to Korad and see if the high exalted one of Korad can assist. What was his name?
Highest exalted ruler of Korra and Scythor.
Yeah. The squib,
The squid.
who is basically about a meter tall.
Yeah. Oh, he's in Phoenix. Oh.
That is part of the title.
That's funny. I think we should hop over to there and oh wait, hold on. They have promised him a ship.
You had. But hey, having a Imperial ship show up with you may actually make him a little more willing to help.
Yeah. Especially with the entourage as well.
Playing Admiral Thrawn tonight. Mr. Purr.
He does a very good job.
Well, his name's Therion. It kind of rhymes with Thrawn.
Exactly.
Both start with T.
There's a TH, R, and N in both of them.
Oh wait, all we needed to get the ship was to access the holodeck. We just never did that. So, I think what we need to ask the Imperials to grant us access to the holonet to request the Idea's ship in order to help quote unquote grease the palm of information needed for this investigation.
Hi, Thrawn. Can you give us access to be able to bribe this guy for information on your stolen gear? It's a good thing I'm the one not making the call, right?
That's
I could
okay.
have done worse. Hey, Thrawn, baby.
Hey, you do have someone showing up who does have the money to pay for all that sort of stuff.
That'd be Guri.
Guri, yeah.
Yeah, Guri. Yeah. Are your hands up to open the
Okay. Though I was thinking, considering we're at 10:15, that would be a good point to stop it for the
Yeah.
night and say we'll pick up from you figuring out that plot point.
Yeah.
Would be a good thing to keep
Give us some time to think.
in mind what you're doing next session.
Yeah, this would be good to give us a chance to think for something over.
And plan what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Or apparently we don't have a David online at the moment
I was going
either.
to say we
How's
haven't heard
he
from him
dropped-
for a
he
while.
dropped-
Yeah, he hasn't dropped out.
That's why we didn't hear a droid in the background.
Yeah. No, whenever there's an opening for a dad joke that isn't taken, he's
Whenever
dropped
it's
out.
silent for quite a while, I just assume that it's been
If there's no insult for like more than a few minutes,
yeah.
Okay, so we'll recap. You found out that Officer Fabio had died and been cremated. That the
Yeah.
I don't trust that.
no, no, why?
In quotes, died, and in quotes, being cremated.
It's very convenient, and you know, Chandra Dell leaving at the same time when, you know, she was going to stick around looking for stuff.
and then ships getting stolen belonging to Thrawn,
Yep.
and now a rush to find out where they went.
Yep.
And the question will be, with Fabio going missing, why is he going missing? He was doing investigations for Piper.
He was searching for
Wookiee.
a Wookiee transport
Yeah,
ship.
the problem is, the thing is, we don't know
was
that.
looking for
We don't know that he was
Yeah.
searching for the Wookiees.
I think we should take note of that.
I don't
not...
necessarily trust that Sonadel has Fabio's best interest at heart.
Yeah, that may not be the case. And that might be where we find Piper eventually.
And she may or not have been the people to give information to certain pirates about certain ships.
Yep.
To act as a certain distraction. Who knows?
We are not into conspiracy theories at all.
Not at all.
I haven't like jumped on 3 probably incorrect conspiracy theories this game alone.
Oh goodness. So,
Hey, conspiracies are good.
Well, the reason I do it is because with Martin, nothing is as it seems. Question everything.
question everything.
She knows me well.
Conspiracy.
But he'll also tell me stuff, but he'll rely on the fact that I'll forget. But I'll know that there's stuff I should have been paying attention to.
Especially there's
that I
something
need to
hinky
chase
here.
up.
Yeah.
What's hinky about this? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Some people call it him being affectionate, other people call it torture.
hey, we dragged along, but we got somewhere in the end.
Yeah.
That's something.
You did. So I'll put it on end credits, and if you want to chat afterwards, Ross, you're welcome to wait around for a little bit. So I'll do the end credits and then chat.
Don't let me
So-
forget to put pins. Oh, sorry.
See you
good
next session.